All right, hi everybody. Chris Justice here alongside Victoria Coquinos and Grace Lau. We are watching a tornado warning that was just issued here for Spartanburg County, Cherokee County, Northern Union County. This is beginning to rotate here. One of many different areas that are rotating within this storm. You need to be getting to your safe place. This is no joke here for you folks in Chesnee and Mayo, pushing off toward the east. The strongest rotation includes Moore and Boiling Springs, Gaffney, right along the I-85 corridor. Please do not be traveling in this. You want to get to a safe place. Maybe some of you are watching right now on Facebook or on our mobile app. You want to be getting inside of a steady structure. You don't want to be in your car. Some of you may be at car rider line. Get inside the school if you can, okay? There is the possibility that there's a tornado somewhere in this line that's beginning to kink out. This, as the radar is indicating, these winds are going away from our radar down on the I-85. But boy, we've got some rotation in this line that is kinking out right in here. A couple different S shapes. There's Chesnee, there's Mayo. We've got a couple different areas we're concerned about along 110 as this pushes on through. Grace, this is right through your neck of the woods.
I was about to say, Chris, if you want me to go through right now, this is right along 221. I know exactly where this is, guys. Make sure you are staying inside. I'm zooming in. This is right over Lake Blaylock, that bridge, right, going all the way up through Mayo, 221 into Chesnee. As you're getting closer into that intersection of Mayo Road, right near 110. So make sure you guys are being careful, staying inside. This is a tornado warning, so I want to make sure that you guys are safe, staying inside. Once again, this is radar indicated. It has that kink to it. Just a couple of minutes ago, Victoria, Chris, and I were looking at this, and we knew it had a look to it, moving through Spartanburg, moving through Mayo. Now it is within Chesnee. This is my folks. This is my hometown, so make sure you guys are being careful. Also heading towards parts not only Chesnee, but Gaffney are underneath this tornado warning, right near Grassy Pond, right along Highway 11, going all the way into Gaffney and Blacksburg. You guys will be next, but as of right now, what we're looking at is right along 221 into Chesnee as of right now. I'm going to go ahead and give you some landmarks. I'm watching right along that area in between Chesnee and Mayo. That's going to be right where, I'm going to go ahead and call it out, Chris, that's where the Ingalls is.
Okay.
In Chesnee, right?
What a good landmark, yeah.
I want you guys to know exactly where this is, and I want you guys to be careful if you're right near that downtown area.
Ooh, good to know, Grace. Yeah, so important to know where those landmarks are, and great to have a local eye on this. Victoria, we're going to track this right here as we've got a storm tracker tool that tells us exactly where these communities are going to see right in there as this moves off toward northern Spartanburg County into Cherokee County. These areas are under the gun for this, and we'll be watching this closely for these areas. What do you got here for us?
All right, so putting the track on it now for pretty much the entire warning as we put the track on it. If you're in Cowpens, near 8:20, Gaffney near 8:30, Blacksburg just after 8:30 this morning. This will be knocking on your door at 8:45 for Hickory Grove. So this is moving quickly. I mean, it's moving at about 55 miles an hour, Chris, off to the west. So if you have not seen any rain just yet, you probably will in the next couple minutes, especially with this tornado warning. Look how big that warning is. I mean, it stretches all the way to Shelby, heading in towards Spartanburg now.
And we're getting some damage reports here. Emergency manager in McDowell County saying that near 221 on the McDowell-Rutherford County line, there's several trees down blocking travel of both lanes of US 221 south heading into Rutherford County. So this has some damage with it as we're seeing up and down this line. It's got the capability to produce strong straight line winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. It's also got some rotation in it, which, as we see here in parts of Spartanburg County, not the only part of the line that's of concern. If we zoom out just a little bit more, there was another area near Honeypath that's been rotating here toward the south into Abbeville, southern Greenville County. But this is the area that's of most concern right now with the tornado warning. Includes Shelby, southern Cleveland County, southern Rutherford County, Spartanburg County here into Cherokee County. So you need to be getting to your safe place in Cherokee County, Gaffney. I need you to take this seriously here, folks. If you're at work, if you're on the way to work, get to a safe place. Here's a couple of different areas we're watching, too, near Gray Court, Honeypath, leaving Abbeville County into Lawrence County. A couple of different areas here that, again, I would not be surprised if any number of these kinks, as you call them, where it kind of turns into that V shape you see right there. That means this part is extending out faster, and that could give us any kind of rotation here. So I do want to make sure that you folks in Abbeville, Lawrence, you folks in Clinton, know that we're watching this closely for you. Though our attention is solidly on Spartanburg and Cherokee County because there's a tornado warning there, we want you to know that very well we could have a warning in your neck of the woods too. We'll check back in there in just a minute. But Chesnee to Gaffney to Central Packlet, there could be a tornado on the ground right here under this warning. As you look at Cowpens, I-85, this is a very populated area, very traveled area this time of the day. Folks going back and forth to Charlotte or to work. I mean, this is some populated areas right in here. And again, one of the areas we're most concerned about right now. You see that V, that classic V look right there. It means this is notched out and this is notched out right there. Both could have some winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and possibly even beginning to rotate right there or rotating right there. So both would be concerning as we move through this morning into Chesney, Mayo, and Cowpens. And we're watching this closely, guys. I'll let you put another storm track on it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give you an idea of, you know, when this is going to be arriving right along Chesney, Mayo, and Cowpens right now. But I know we're going to be watching potentially this moving into parts. Victoria was mentioning earlier how big this warning is, stretching from Shelby into Grover and parts of Gaffney. Let's go ahead and give you an idea of when this is going to be reaching you guys once again. So let's go and go outside the warning a little bit. We're looking at Grassy Pond around 8:26. Once again, 8:28, that's Gaffney, my Blacksburg folks. 8:36 near Grover around 8:39. So that's an idea of when that's going to be reaching you as of right now. Let's go ahead and kind of clear this track for you so you get an idea of what we're staring at, what we're looking at. Once again, Chris, several kinks in this line, that V shape, that S shape we've been eyeing. And I know as of right now, it's kind of passing through Chesney, now heading into parts right along Mayo Road, into Grassy Pond, headed into the Gaffney area, right along 85. So I want you guys to be careful. Zooming out, once again, Victoria, you were talking about earlier, watching that area in Rutherfordton, stretching all the way down right into parts of Lawrence and Greenwood and Abbeville as well. So like we mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of minutes or so if something else could spin up, just because all of these have that look to it.
I'm going to prompt you guys upstairs if you can. I know we got the Spartanburg Skycam, if maybe we could show that. I want you to possibly get us the Lawrence Skycam, if you can maybe start working on that as well. I'd love to be able to see from the ground what we're seeing right now. Here is our our Spartanburg Skycam over Wofford. You can see the dark clouds there, indicating that the worst of that storm, we're looking off toward the south and east right here from that view. What a great warning that we have right there. So the good news is downtown Spartanburg, where we're watching right here over Wofford, the worst of it is just east of you. So the National Weather Service saying downtown Spartanburg, you're clear. They're going to remove Mayo and Chesney from the warning as well. But another warning will be coming here for parts of Abbeville into Lawrence and Greenwood County. Not sure if that means severe thunderstorm warning, I'm guessing. Probably watching that as it has some kinks in it as well. So folks, if you can, maybe start efforting that Lawrence Skycam. We'll have a great look at where that is showing up here. There it is right there. Look at the sun shining, ladies. That's not a good sign right there. Here we are at 8:30. The sun is up every little bit. You know, like on a summer day when it's kind of raining, a little bit muggy. That is just fueling that environment. So let's go down to Lawrence County and show you this line here. There is our Skycam over Lawrence, looking right there. So we're looking toward the storm. And you can see here, it's going to look a lot different here in the next 15, 20 minutes. And again, there's several segments of this that are continuing to bow out. So like you guys were mentioning, this could give us a tornado warning at any minute. We'll watch this for Greenwood, Abbeville, Lawrence County. So our southern half of the area, that area that Victoria, you were mentioning, was under that level 3 enhanced look for severe weather today. So that just tells you that environment a little bit more awake, a little bit more warm and ripe for those storms as it rolls on through. But look at that hail. Got a new line coming through with Live Super Doppler 4. Again, that gives us that instant look. We know exactly where the rotation is, exactly where the storms are, that instant. And that's a tool that is so powerful for us when we're tracking storms like this, to know where it's happening. So Lawrence, I need you to treat that like a tornado warning, because boy, you got it coming from two sides. You got one coming in from the north and one from the south, kind of converging in on Lawrence and Clinton here in the next 30 minutes or so. That line certainly means business right there. As we're watching the southern end of this line, there's that severe thunderstorm warning. And you know, I would imagine this has a tornado tag on it as well, as Clinton, Cross Keys, all of Union County. This will get us all the way through our area here, as this severe thunderstorm warning goes until 9:30 this morning with a radar indicated severe weather here. But you got some damage here. We've got reports in Rutherford County downstream from this storm. As it moves on through, you're getting trees and power outages to come on through. So it's one of those situations where we got to watch this closely. Let's kind of give you a broad look, and we'll zoom out just a little bit. So from the top to the bottom, here we are with this whole line that's pushing on through. And this line is going to turn into a major squall line as it pushes off toward the east today. And as it does, it's going to provide with it the chance for some significant severe weather. In this case, we got wind is the main concern. Just about everybody on this leading edge is under a severe thunderstorm warning. For you folks in Greenville County, you're now clear from severe weather. Most of Spartanburg County now clear from severe weather. It's now eastern Spartanburg County pushing into Gaffney, into Cherokee County. So everybody in Pickett Pickens, Oconee, Greenville, Anderson County, you're clear from severe weather. Now, it's still raining. Please be careful going out and about, and there could be some damage behind this. So please be careful on your commute. It could look a little bit differently. Come around a curve and a tree could be down. Be very careful. Go slower than you would think. But right now, the leading edge and the most concerning part of this storm is over Gaffney, Shelby, Surratt, down toward Union County. This area under a tornado warning for this area that's blowing out right there heading into downtown Gaffney. That's the most concerning part of this tornado warning, as we've seen that rotation try to crop up right in there. So let's put a storm track on this, get through some of these towns like Thickety, Blacksburg, Grover, right along the I-85 corridor, very populated areas here of our Cherokee County communities as it moves on through the area right here in this tornado warned area. So giving you an idea of where it'll be for your neck of the woods. So Gaffney, Kings Mountain, Gastonia, Mount Holly, they'll be pushing into the Charlotte area after 9 o'clock. So that just tells you how fast this line is moving. It's good in the fact that it's not going to give us that flood threat, but it's bad in the fact that it's on you in a hurry. And this line does have a history of producing some severe weather. In fact, getting more reports back through Burke County of some trees and power lines down from Fairview, North Carolina, up through Buncombe County, through Rutherford County. So this line is giving us reports of damage right behind it. That just shows you kind of some of that damage as it comes on through, as we got this tornado warning here until about another 30 minutes or so as it pushes through Cherokee County, and watching those segments down toward the south as they're bowing out as well.
Yeah, we continue to track this thunderstorm warning. I did turn on the local storm reports, hoping maybe if anyone reported any tree damage or maybe some wind damage in their area. You notice off to our west these circles that tells us there is a storm report for wind. So right now we're not seeing any in our area. I'm sure that's going to change once the National Weather Service gets a hold of these storm reports. They usually relay them to us. But if you have any local storm reports, you can email us, you can message us on Facebook or social media and let us know kind of what's going on in your area. It helps us really to have like boots on the ground and tells us kind of what's going on in your city. So we are still keeping an eye on this tornado warning that's going, I think, how long does it go till?
This goes until, I believe, around 9:15. I think it was extended for parts of Gaffney and Shelby and Grover and Packwood.
Spartanburg, you are now removed from the tornado warning. So Spartanburg, you are in the clear, but we're still watching this main line move through Gaffney down towards Pauline Central and then moving upwards towards Shelby and Grover. It is not to your area just yet. It should be there in the next about 10-15 minutes. So go ahead and stay in your tornado safe area. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And really, Grace, we've been looking at the rotation. It's very minimal, but within these lines, we can have these quick spin-up tornadoes, and they're fairly isolated, but still, these winds are strong. We've had winds up to almost 70 miles an hour today.
I know, and I want to go ahead and zoom in and kind of check for what we've been seeing all morning long, the kinks in the line. Kind of zooming in parts of Gaffney, you really see where that is into Gaffney, heading into Blacksburg, up 85, Grassy Pond, you're within this tornado warning. But like you mentioned, the rotation, it's there. It's picking up as radar indicated. But even if you're outside of this tornado warning, I want you to make sure that you are certainly staying inside, just because not only potentially rotation there, but we're also looking at wind gusts, Victoria, up to around 70 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and take a tour real quick with you. Rumble of thunder. I wanted to pause so if y'all could hear that or not. Certainly could hear it in our studio for sure. Let's go ahead and zoom in right now in parts right near Lawrence, because not only are they getting it as that line's kind of reaching their area as of right now, but certainly beginning to see some of those different looks to the line, right? It's not straight. It's not all the way kind of how it was earlier this morning, beginning to see those kinks. And as the sun begins to rise and as we're seeing some more daytime heating, this is going to wake up as well. And we're certainly seeing that as of right now. Once again, Spartanburg County removed from the tornado warning, but still in Cherokee County, you're there into Gaffney, kind of moving through right now. Heavy rain, and yes, you are within that tornado warning.
And I want to highlight something right here. So we've been talking about the kinks in the line that kind of shows rotation. I know this looks like there are multiple kinks, but I'm going to circle where it looks like the rotation was. So notice how near 150 north of Gaffney and I-85, it looks like the line, or the lines are going inward, kind of like a C shape. Yeah. That is the rotation. So where you see this going in right here, where it's circled near 150 and I-85, that's telling us there's some pretty decent rotation. Even though it may not be showing up on the winds right now, that's what we kind of look for on a radar to show us where the rotation is, where those more defined kinks are versus that entire warning. And it's moving off towards the northeast right now for the moment. So as I zoom out here, now I'm going to give a heads up, if you are near Union, Cross Keys, Heading down towards Lawrence, Joanna, Cross Hill near I-26. This will head in towards Newberry, out of our area, but these areas have not seen any rain today. The sun's up. It's 8:30, which I know is early in the morning, but we kind of have that summertime atmosphere right now. Greenwood, as this heads into the area that has not seen any rain, that's when it starts to ramp up. So areas closer towards I-77 are actually in a level 4 risk for severe storms today, but that's thankfully just off towards our east, out of our area, but we're still watching them as well.
Right. If you have any friends or family, I said this morning, this is going to be a long morning for folks in South Carolina and North Carolina for sure, and you're already beginning to see this as of right now. We have one tornado warning, but once again, from top to bottom, this line has severe thunderstorm warnings with tornado possible tags. I want to make sure we have a new severe warning coming in once again for parts of Cleveland, Lincoln, and Gaston, so this is still extending as this line moves through, as it even eventually clears our viewing area. Folks outside of there, if you got friends, if you got family there, it's going to continue to potentially be maybe even worse for parts of the Midlands and parts into Charlotte as well, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about the gas and the fuel available for that, like you guys were mentioning. I mean, those areas under a level 4, you don't see that often. In fact, the last time our area has had risks like this in the Carolinas, 2021. So it's been about 5 years since we've had this kind of a severity of tornado concerns. Seeing your severe thunderstorm warning just issued gets into Gaston County. So this is bearing down on the Charlotte metro area here within the next hour or so. Yeah, add that to Charlotte traffic. That's not going to be a great commute. As we look ahead, I know many of you got doctor's appointments. Many of you got appointments that you're trying to get through. I know that was a lot of the questions that we had this weekend were, can I make this appointment or that? What I can tell you, if we kind of zoom out just a little more broad, where you are safe and where we are concerned, basically anywhere west of this line, you are safe now. Now, that said, it's still raining. There's still some rumbles of thunder, but there is no concern for severe weather over Greenville County any longer. No concerns over Pickens, Oconee, Anderson, all of northeast Georgia, all of western North Carolina, from say Polk County, Cherokee County, or Polk County, Rutherford County, westbound. Okay, so you're all clear here. Where we are concerned, where we still have significant concerns here, is Cherokee County, southern Spartanburg County, Union, Lawrence, and Greenwood counties. These areas, we'll start from the top to the bottom. So Boiling Springs, Central Packlet, again, that top part of the line has now moved into Cherokee County, where there's still a warning. This area is trying to rotate right in there. A couple different segments of rotation indicated by the National Weather Service, and we're getting trees to come down. We're getting some power line reports to come down behind this line, especially in Rutherford County. 221 is impassable heading toward the south as there's several trees down and some power lines there. You go through Earl, you go through I-85. Again, this is packing a punch as it moves up through Shelby, southern Cleveland County. Many take this travel down Highway 74 east to go toward Charlotte or west to go toward the mountains. And Blacksburg, again, some areas in our area that are continuing to see that. Let's scoot on down to Cherokee County, Union County. We'll show you the whole extent of this line. And look at that, a couple different areas. This one in southern Spartanburg County near Moore. Boy, that one is really packing a punch as it rolls on through. This moving east toward West Springs and Union, Jonesville, right there in the path of this. And again, this line's kind of punching out right in there. We'll be watching that very closely near West Springs as it rolls on through these areas, packing a punch right there. As we zoom on down to the south just a little bit more, we'll get you into Lawrence County. Again, this line is packing a punch as it rolls through uptown Greenwood, some strong winds, some heavy rain, and this is going to be clear of our area within the next hour or so. By 9:30, I would expect Union County, everybody to kind of be clear of the severe, but we've got to pay attention to this very closely here for you folks in southern Greenwood County, up through Lawrence, Union, Whitmire, up through Cherokee County, Gaffney eastbound, as this line is still packing a punch. Some areas opted for a 2-hour delay today in and around Greenville County. That'll get you through 10 a.m. You'll be just fine by then. Most of these storms are pushing off toward the east very quickly. And ladies, these things are booking it. I mean, 55 to 60 miles per hour. That's like driving on the highway in the car. I mean, this thing is booking it. And that cell south of Spartanburg is looking interesting as well.
I know, watching this one right here, you can kind of see it's opposite here. Bowing out just crossed over Woodruff and 221. And we can kind of see a hail core with it as well. It's just outside of the tornado warning, but the winds look strong. Look how it bows out right here. It's in that severe thunderstorm warning for winds at least at up to 60 miles an hour, and we're still seeing some heavy rain move through. So if you're near West Springs, this should be towards you in the next 5-10 minutes, if that. You probably already hear the thunder moving through just over I-26, seeing plenty of white lightning bolts too to work with. And Walnut Grove, seeing the worst of it move over you as well. So if you are still in any of these warnings, you're in the thick of it. We are seeing the warnings now extended towards Union. We also had one extended up towards Gastonia, and then moving upwards towards Hickory on I-40. So again, Chris said it it moments ago. If you're in Travelers Rest, Greenville, Pickens, Spartanburg was out of the tornado warning. And then if you're in Travelers Rest, Greenville, Pickens, you no longer have a severe threat. Hendersonville, Columbus, Landrum. But we're really focusing on this leading edge because we keep seeing these kinks in them. That's the quick spin up tornadoes, hail core, and we had wind gusts at least near 70 earlier as well.
That's terrible. I mean, that can bring down trees or power lines in and of themselves. Many are asking on the chat right now, just took a peek at that. These lightning strikes, yeah, a lightning strike just happened right outside of our studios here. You're still getting some lightning out of some of this shower activity, but lightning doesn't co-locate to severe weather all the time. The most severe activity right now south of Spartanburg. In fact, let's look at this hail core right here. We've got a couple of different cores and tools that we can use near West Springs. We can identify the hail. We can identify the track of this. Let's look and x-ray this for velocity and see what's happening right now with this, see if there's any kind of wind undiscernible right here. Certainly some brighter spots showing up here and there as we're now on the opposite side of our radar. So the winds are going away from live Super Doppler 4, which sits off of I-85. So we're getting that outer band going on through. Nonetheless, we're still able to sample it. And right in there, certainly some strong winds indicated by live Super Doppler 4 that could be in excess of 50, 55 miles per hour. And again, if that were to continue to extend out, you would get that rotation, and that kink could happen in those areas to give us the potential for severe weather. Up and down this line, we've got this. Now, Bradford was identifying last night some of the areas that would be indicated in this, and you guys this morning, that level 3 transition from a slight risk of severe weather to an enhanced to a moderate. I mean, that just co-locates with the timing of the day that this front is going to move through. And unfortunately, folks, any kind of travels to the east today, I would let this line clearly go past it before you travel east, because unfortunately, tornadoes, in fact, strong and long track tornadoes are a risk here. You don't hear us say those words often in our neck of the woods. That's usually something you hear toward Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma. But strong, long track tornadoes are possible between that corridor of I-77 and I-95 today. Basically, Bishopville, northern Columbia, up through Florence, into eastern parts of Charlotte, up through Greensboro, the Triad, into Raleigh-Durham. It's going to be a really rough day there as this line only amplifies as it goes off toward the east. Those of you asking about your doctor's appointments, you've got a lot to do. It's a Monday. You're trying to get after it today. Anything west of Greenville right now is fine. You've got some rain. You want to take it slow, but there are no concerns for tornadoes, for strong winds. You're clear of the severe weather. In fact, you're going to want a coat as it's about to get very cold out. In fact, that cold air intrusion is about to happen in the mountains. That's going to change this moisture over to snow. In fact, in a couple of hours, there will be snow flying around in the mountains, and there's a winter weather advisory for 3 to 6 inches of snow along the Tennessee state line. There could be areas above 4,000 feet that get up to 6+ inches of snow. Imagine that, right? That's just wild for this time of the year. Still showing some significant concerns here across Cherokee County, Spartanburg County, Lawrence, Union. These are the areas we're most concerned about. Within the next 30, 45 minutes, our area is going to be mainly clear of this severe weather as this line races off toward the east. And we'll be watching this closely here along the I-85 corridor, pushing down toward the south as this line pushes off toward the east very quickly. Gaffney, you're in this as well. Right along the I-85 corridor. Each one of these segments here has the potential to give us some rotation as it's booking it off toward the east right here. So again, areas that we're watching up and down the line are going to be clearing some areas. So North Carolina, if you're watching right now, Swain, Graham, Haywood, Madison, Yancey, into Mitchell and Avery counties, McDowell County, Burke, Henderson, Polk, Buncombe, you're all clear from severe weather. That includes Transylvania, Macon, and Jackson County. In South Carolina, there's no more concern here for Anderson, Greenville, Pickens, Oconee County, parts of Abbeville County. You're now clear from severe weather. There's no more concerns for tornadoes in Abbeville County. Where we still have concern, Greenwood, Lawrence, Spartanburg, Union, and Cherokee. That's where we still could get a crop up of a tornado or a severe wind gust. But within the next 30, 45 minutes, with as fast as this thing is moving, it'll be in and out of here, and we'll begin to get some better weather to move on through as this pushes off toward the east. But oof, right here, this hail core right here moving into Union County, it is not playing around. This near Pauline, pushing around the Spartanburg, Cherokee County, and Union County lines right there, kind of coming in hard right there. Got some hail with it, and again, that is extending out ahead of the main line, which means it could begin to rotate right there. So that's a signal that we'll be watching very closely in these areas. And again, getting more storm reports on my watch right here. This would be parts of Greenville County, some trees down. Again, watching this closely here across Entering into Carlisle. Thank you guys for your reports. They mean so much to us. As ladies, we're watching this move on through so quickly.
I know this has been so bad. We're both saying the same thing. No, it's moving on so fast. I think you might have heard me whisper on TV. I was pointing out to Victoria, kind of taking a larger look at the line, and I said, hey, go ahead and take a look at Union right now. And once again, packing a punch. Boy, in West Springs, are you getting it right, heading towards Jonesville. I know I got some family there as well. So guys, make sure you're being careful in parts of Jonesville and Union as well. Still underneath a tornado warning, but once again, this is an area we want you to be aware of and watch. New severe for Chester and York County. So like we mentioned, as this line continues to move through the day, we're going to be watching this continue to potentially have, like Chris mentioned, some long track tornadoes, some stronger ones as well. Still a tornado warning in parts of Cherokee all the way through as well into Surratt. I want you guys to be careful out that way as well. Each one of those little clusters we're being watching through that line potentially could have not only just some heavier rain, but those high wind gusts up to, we saw earlier, I think the highest we've seen since this morning has been around 68, 70. Close to 70 miles per hour out there.
I know, we're still watching this main line move through that tornado warning. I know, stretching all the way from Shelby, from 221 down towards Grover and Gaffney. And that's the tornado warning, but we are seeing this now, this strong hail core moving over 150. If you're in Jonesville, this is about to move through your area right now towards West Springs, 176 crossing near 18 in Union. This is very heavy rain. This is strong winds. This is also a very decent hail core. You can kind of see that when the colors start to brighten up near purple and bright red. That tells us there is some hail within the storm. So that's what we're really keeping an eye on right now. As we travel a little bit further south, we are starting to see some areas light up towards Union. We are seeing that Boeing system. Look, there's a kink in it right here. Let's stop the radar, heading in towards I-26, just towards the east of Lawrence. And that's what we're watching with these storms as they move through. Once we see that kink, that is a very light rotation or weak, but it can strengthen, it can tighten up, especially in this environment now that it's moving in Lawrence and towards Union County that haven't seen any rain or anything just yet.
I haven't seen anything just yet. We kept mentioning, you know, as we wake up, this will also wake up, and we've been seeing this come to fruition all morning long. We knew that earlier this morning. Remember, we were showing that graphic of the green, the yellow, and the red, and as things continue to move through, within parts of Pickens, Oconee County, you were within that lower severe threat, and it kind of moved along, and you kind of see this line as it gets to those areas begin to strengthen again along with the sunrise, along with daylight. So once again, if you're within the area of West Springs headed towards Jonesville, I want you guys to be careful. Try to see an update on that warning in Gaffney as well. Let's go ahead and zoom out. We're still within a tornado warning, but
while she looks at that, just a quick update for those who have already seen the storms move through. If you are in Swain, Haywood, Graham, Madison, Yancey, Mitchell, Avery, McDowell, Henderson, Buncombe, Transylvania, Macon, off towards Henderson, you are no longer in a severe thunderstorm watch. It is being cleared for those areas. And towards South Carolina, Oconee, Pickens, Greenville, Anderson, and Abbeville are no longer in a severe thunderstorm watch. And if you're in for Georgia, Hart County, Stevens County, Elbert, and Franklin, so all of our northeast Georgia counties. If you have family near Tallulah Falls, Rabun County, Habersham, also the warnings and watches have also been canceled and cleared. So again, as this line starts to move through, that leading edge of it is the severe threat. We're still seeing some rain and lightning, like Chris was saying, towards Greenville, out of the severe thunderstorm warnings, but that's just a regular thunderstorm now. We're really watching this leading edge for any hail, the tornado warning still in place, and also some gusty winds or really any rotation.
Right, I was just kind of doing a tour for myself of the radar and all the products that we do have with Live Super Doppler 4 radar, kind of giving an idea of what's going on within the storm as well, kind of watching this line move through, checking in on wind speeds, highs we've seen around 70 miles per hour, just kind of checked in right there, headed towards Jonesville. That was that 54 you saw on the screen there.
Oh, look at that hail core over Jones right now.
Right now headed towards you guys. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on a few towns over this way. Just to let you guys know, near Mean Crossroads, Lockhart, you guys, make sure you're being careful. I have family right in between Jonesville and Lockhart. So once again, you're not within that tornado warning, but you're going to be dealing with some very strong winds, high winds. Tornado warning still issued for parts of Cherokee County, kind of stretching right into Shelby and Grover as well, right along I-85. Still within a warning, but as of right now, no update It's going to expire when? I think it was around 9 o'clock. I believe that was when.
It's 9 or 9:15.
It might be a situation like the one that we had in Yancey County, right? They just let it go through and let it expire.
9 o'clock.
Once again until 9 o'clock. That's radar indicated rotation. I know, Chris, you have some updates for us as well.
Yeah, we've got some reports of damage coming in right behind this line. It's important to know about where we will have the worst of this come on through. It's good to have some ground truth. So these come in clusters with our partners at the National Weather Service, but from Macon County, North Carolina to Crusoe, Haywood County, several power outages, Maggie Valley, Canton to Crusoe. You've got damage, and then you go into northeast Georgia. That line pushed through parts of Henderson and Buncombe County. This area had some trees down on the road near the airport at Asheville. Weaverville had some damage in Buncombe County. And you go down toward Anderson County, we got the North Lake area without power. Several power outages in and around Anderson County with that line. Fairview, North Carolina near the airport. You go back towards Sandy Springs in Anderson County without power. Several trees and power lines down. Transylvania County, North Carolina, and 2 new reports coming in off of Highway 64 in Henderson County of damage. So this is proving to be a damaging storm as it rolls on through, and these areas are going to continue to see that improve in areas toward the west. So folks, if you got to be somewhere in Greenville County, I would just urge you to be careful. There could be some trees down, some power lines down, so your commute, especially those back roads and rural areas, could look a little bit different. But if you're in Greenville County, you're safe to be able to go about your day carefully, okay? But the severe concerns still remain. We've got a tornado warning for Cherokee County, and that pushes off toward the east, and in fact northern Union County under this as well. We're going to have to watch this area in Jonesville as this line right here is entering that closely here. But unfortunately, this is going to continue to be a worsening situation for areas along I-77 from Columbia through Charlotte. That area is just primed for severe weather. It's got the most instability, the most storm action as it comes on through, and those areas will be watching closely. Ooh, got a new report, ladies, here. Gaffney Fire reporting West Frederick Street, a reported roof blown off a house there. So that could be co-located with where we just saw that warning in Gaffney. So watching that closely. They are seeing that the rotation has since come down here in Cherokee County. So they're going to let this warning cancel here in any moment now for Cherokee County. But just getting reports here, you folks in the newsroom may be interested in hearing this, that Gaffney Fire responding to West Frederick Street with a reported roof blown off of a house. So watching that closely. Emergency manager of Cherokee County, thank you so much for letting us know about that storm report right there in Gaffney. Again, West Frederick Street in Gaffney reported of a roof off of a house right there. And hopefully everybody's safe there, folks. We're watching this very closely as this line is pushing on through, and it is packing a punch as it does as these areas are moving quickly off toward the east. This has been where the rotation has been, and thankfully it is beginning to subside a little bit to where this warning will likely be dropped in just a few moments. But it does not mean that the severe threat is over. In fact, this stuff moving in from Union, there it goes. The red has dropped, which means the warning has dropped here from Union to Cherokee County, but the threat still remains as this line pushes off toward the east. So Spartanburg County, you're all but clear of severe weather. You got a couple more cells right there along the Union County line, but for the most part, the threat is almost over for you folks in Spartanburg County. As we zoom out and give you some perspective here of where we're talking about here, everybody west of Spartanburg now, fine. You're all clear from severe weather. If you need to go about your day in Anderson, Clemson, Seneca, Greenville, you're going to find some rain, but there's nothing severe in this whatsoever. There may be a rumble of thunder. You know, that kind of catches people off guard. It's not recropping back up or anything. But you can see here, southern Greenwood County, this is almost out of our area. Southern Lawrence County, almost out of our area. We got to watch you folks in Union and to Cherokee County as this line pushes off toward the east. So we're going to wait and see what's going on in Gaffney right here from the potential damage from that tornado warned storm that we've had here. But yeah, behind this line, whether it be strong straight line winds or touchdowns of tornadoes, there could have been some damage in and around this as we continue to watch this as it pushes on through. But we're within 30 minutes of this line being out of our area and continuing to give us better situations. But unfortunately, we do have damage reports behind this line, power outages from Anderson to Greenville County. You've got those tree reports down, and these come in clusters. So the National Weather Service's primary focus at this time is to give us the warnings, give us where we're seeing the worst of it, but they're getting these warnings to come on in along with the storm reports, which help us give us ground truth to what you guys are telling us. What you tell us where Sandy Springs is, there's power outages. The North Lake community of Anderson County, both of those had some trees down, some power lines down, and now that storm system is pushing off toward the east. You no longer have severe weather, but again, with storm damage reports like this, we certainly have the potential that any number of these roads could look a lot different than your normal commute. So southern parts of Greenwood County, that's where the worst of this is, and just kind of look at how that line kind of blossoms up. I mean, it is coming alive. We've been talking about this morning, kind of how you wake up and you have your coffee, you come alive. Same story. The storm's coffee is the sun, and it's warming things up, making things a lot more unstable. In fact, I did not like the look of the sun shining on our Lawrence Skycam before that line rolled on through. But this line is now pushing into southern Kirksey, Troy, Bradley. You're all almost clear from this. Give it another 30 minutes or so, then you can go about your day. Same story for southern and eastern Lawrence County near Clinton, pushing up toward the 385 and 26 junction right here across Lawrence County. Here we are right here where that Walmart distribution center is. That's where the worst of the storm is right now, pushing off toward the east. And again, any number of these could begin to kink up, and we'll have to watch. It looks like Union and Lawrence County are going to be the last of our area that see this roll on through, and any number of these in here kind of has suspect looks to them with that hail and some of this line trying to bow out in front of others. You got these kinks in there. Thankfully, none of them are potent at this time, but watching this very closely for them.
Yeah, we're still watching this line, Chris, move across the area. We're going to stay with you for at least the next 8-ish minutes unless there's another tornado warning. So like Chris was saying, if you're in Travelers Rest, Pickens, Clemson, Northeast Georgia, Anderson, you are now in the clear from any severe weather. If you want to let us know about any damage to your area, you can message us or email us on email us or message us on Facebook to let us know. I'm sure there is, unfortunately, some damage from the strong winds we saw. I mean, we had winds up to 70 in Anderson.
I know, and I was just kind of checking in, and folks in Gaffney, at that area with that warned storm just expired a couple of minutes ago for sure. And once again, they're now without Spartanburg and parts of Cherokee County.
I think they just trimmed
off that severe thunderstorm warning. So when it is safe to do so, make sure you just let us know what's going on outside. That can verify what we're seeing here on Live Super Doppler 4 radar early this morning. Still, though, kind of giving you perspective of what we were talking about before this line pushed through. We knew we were going to be dealing with some strong wind gusts. Remember that we had that green, the yellow, and then the red, and even purple off in the distance in parts of Charlotte and parts of other parts.
For the severe weather threats.
For the severe weather threats. And once again, we had those areas we were watching, and that we were telling you guys this morning, as the sun begins to rise, this is going to wake up as well. And each area kind of verified seeing early this morning, closer towards Oconee County, eastern Georgia, it started to pick up, and as the sun was beginning to rise, kind of warming it up just a little bit. That can give it the energy to once again have those higher wind gusts and have those spins that we did see. So once again, Union and Lawrence County, the second portion more east of Cherokee County, heading into parts of Charlotte. I know it's real quick and easy to get Charlotte from Cherokee County. You guys are still within those severe thunderstorm warnings. They still have the tornado possible tag, but those are the areas, the last of our viewing area to be going through this severe weather right now.
And we're watching these strong areas. Honestly, the worst of the storm right now looks to me towards just towards the east of Unions, passing over I-26. I'll zoom in a little bit closer, maybe get some Rose Cross Keys near 56, seeing some pretty decent hail core and heavy rain with this towards 49. And then as we travel northward towards West Springs, we are still seeing some heavy rain as it moves off towards the northeast, because it's moving off to the northeast. West Springs still seeing some damage and heavy rain. We're also seeing up towards Union and Jonesville, those lighter colors of the purple and the red, those are definitely some hail cores and strong winds. So this is still pushing off. We still have the severe thunderstorm warnings in place. Now, if you're near Woodruff, also towards Spartanburg, they really trimmed back the severe thunderstorm warning, which is really good news. Gaffney mainly out of it, but towards Union, heading off towards the north, we are still seeing that severe thunderstorm warning, and rightfully so. I mean, up 105 towards Smyrna and 329 towards Blacksburg. There are still some very heavy rain and gusty winds with this system. So taking a wider look here as we travel a little bit further southward, let's get towards Union and Lawrence.
You can really see it kind of weaken just for a moment and then ramp right back up as we're getting closer and closer towards the Midlands, closer towards Columbia, right? Chapin, near that area, Lexington. We knew this was going to be a problem for South Carolina. all day long. We're beginning to see our area still within the severe thunderstorm warning portion, but kind of sink back down that way. So if you do have family and friends stretching from Charlotte all the way through Columbia, even into the low country, I want you guys to make sure you're being careful and make sure you're contacting them as well. Kind of going to other parts of the line, you really see into Augusta, parts of Georgia, still dealing with that. But a wider perspective, you see this has really packed a punch, and as this begins to clear up and you can go about your day, make sure you're being careful. Once again, those back roads, if we have a roof blown off of a house in Gaffney, the Gaffney Fire Department's responding to that. Once again, I'm sure in other spots, even if you are clear, I want you to be careful this morning, just because your roadways could look a little bit different than they did this morning.
Like you were saying on the back roads, we've had such strong winds, and we've had some reports, Chris was talking about it, of tree damage. Even just some tree branches can cause damage to the power lines, also on the roadways. Even the interstate, I'm sure there's not trees down, but at least there's standing water. So please take it slow heading out the door. If you are towards I-26 and westward of I-26, you're pretty much in the clear right now from any severe weather. So this is the main line that we're watching. Should clear Union here at least in the next 10-15 minutes. And then as we travel northward towards Shelby, you're still in the warning, and then it goes out towards Gastonia. Then as we travel a little bit further southward, we are seeing the line kind of like Grace said, form again. It's heading into an environment that hasn't seen any rain. When an environment sees rain, it stabilizes it. So we are going to see this line kind of strengthen as it moves out of our area closer towards the Midlands, and then traveling up towards Charlotte and also towards the coastal areas near Raleigh, and then traveling towards Wilmington. Those areas are in a little bit higher threat for severe weather for today because it will be hitting the area when it's warmer. So that's why we've kind of seen this front come to life as the sun's come up, because these temperatures started off in the mid-60s today already. So as we move up towards Union, still seeing some areas of that's pretty decent hail. Yeah,
I was about to say we're looking for those brighter colors once again. So when we're kind of going up and down the line, and I'm tapping Victoria or like telling Chris, wait a minute, we're looking at those bright colors and what it looks like, and still we have some reds, some purples as well. This is a line that has produced several severe thunderstorm warnings as it's continuing through, a couple of tornado warnings just for our area. And Chris, I know you have something new right now, right?
Yeah, we've got our crews on the way to Gaffney right now to check out that damage from the potential tornado warning that we just had earlier. It looks like a roof has been blown off a home in Gaffney. Fire crews are on the way to that as we are watching this line push on through. I've got a storm reports section going on our Facebook page. If you can go there, you can let us know what you're seeing. Just comment on any of our Facebook posts. We'd be happy to have your warnings as you give us the ground truth to what we're seeing on Live Super Doppler 4. We have all the tools in the world, but one of them being you guys to be able to help us out with what you're seeing on the ground. Good news, Spartanburg County, you're clear from any kind of severe weather. Lawrence County, you're not quite, especially that eastern tip. We're watching Union, Newberry, Lawrence, southern Greenwood County, and then our area will be clear from the severe weather. Not that we're not going to be concerned or watching this for Columbia, Charlotte, eastbound, is that I-77 corridor to the I-95 corridor is going to be so critical today from South Carolina to North Carolina, with the worst of the weather continuing for those areas as we continue to watch this closely here. So watching this very closely for you folks in Lawrence, Union, this line right in here, again, it's probably going to be the most suspect that we'll be watching over the next little bit. Let's see if it's giving us any kind of velocity returns as it's moving on through. Union, same story right in here. So watching this with strong winds in excess of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Again, that line is the last of the strong part of it. But the good news here, if you have any kind of doctor's appointments, kind of appointments or school that you have going on, if you're in Greenville County, Anderson County, back through Oconee, Pickens County, this line has cleared you, and you are all clear from that. Let's get back to Live Super Doppler 4, and I'll show you kind of a bigger picture here as we wrap up here at 9 o'clock. Our commitment to you is to continue to keep you posted around the clock here. Should this crop back up into a tornadic situation or one that gives us more damage, we will cut back into programming right here. And of course, our crews are on the way to that damage reported in Gaffney. We'll have much more here on WYFF News 4 throughout the day.